Applying mobile technology into the classroom. This lesson is designed to use multiple platforms of technology to enhance students' learning. My project consists of using the Apple iPad and then also internet technologies to reach students on a higher level. I understand that the internet applications do not necessarily need the use of an iPad, but with all the research that I've been working on, I feel that the use and the mobility of an iPad and also the free internet applications will suit my classroom perfectly. I do not have a normal or standard classroom, as most teachers might assume. I am an industrial arts teacher, which means that there are a lot of things in my class that cannot be structured like that of most other teachers. My students are sitting less than 15% of the time while in my class, so I need my technology to be mobile. For Lesson 1. The first lesson is mainly concentrated on teaching the students how to properly use an iPad and show them the basics of how to operate it. The main reason for starting out with this simple instruction and also taking the time to teach the students how to use the iPad, I think is crucial. Do not assume that all students already know how to use an iPad, but take the extra time and teach them the correct ways. The skills to operate an iPad are actually fairly elementary for most users, and after a short time using or more or less playing with the iPad, users gain confidence. For the first lesson, it is mainly concentrated on teaching the students how to properly use the iPad and show them the basics of how to operate the iPad. The main reason for starting out with this simple instruction and taking the time to teach students how to use the iPad, I think, is crucial. Do not just assume that students already know how to use the iPad, but take the extra time to teach them. Students will also learn to use internet resources and enhance their own learning of using the iPads. The internet resources that I'm actually concentrating on are digital posters, live binders, web quests, and also personal wikis. The main focus would get the students familiar with the common uses of the iPad, but also grow on their knowledge of other internet resources. First, the students will gather an iPad for the basic lesson. Then I will give them a simple instruction showing them how to turn the iPad on, the exterior functions, and all the components or the buttons in which to navigate through or how to use an iPad. Then I'll take about 5-10 minutes and just let them play around with it before I give them any other instruction. Sometimes I think just letting students go on their own, they actually learn more quickly or grasp things quickly if you just let them play on their own for a minute. Second part of the lesson, after they've got a general grasp of how to navigate through the iPad and all the functions, I'm going to teach them how to connect to the wireless internet or whatever internet source that we might have. From there, I'm going to guide them. I'm not going to basically tell them exactly how to do it, but I'll more or less guide them to the 4 different internet resources in which I previously talked about. And those are GardenQuest, Glogster, LiveBinders, and also Wikispaces. Those are the main websites that have the other components that we are going to be going through. The assignment actually for this lesson is after we go through, I've guided them and shown them how to go through everything, I'm going to have them navigate on their own back to the sites and sign up for a free account. More or less for a GardenQuest or just a web quest, they're just going to watch and learn. I will have numerous ones. I do have numerous ones created for my classes, so I'm going to have them just learn how to access those and look through some of the information on those. They will need to, though, sign up for a Glogster account to create a live poster, live binder to create a digital binder, and also create a personal wiki. The advantages and disadvantages of this first lesson, the main ones that I see are mainly the advantages starting is that most students are not only being introduced to one innovative tool, but multiple applications that accompany only one innovative tool. By learning how to navigate an iPad, they will be technology advancing themselves also as students. This project in Lesson 1 will hopefully open their eyes to the infinite options that technology has given to aid in education. This type of educational style hopefully will intrigue students and keep them on task because it's what they are used to and they also can relate to. The only disadvantages that I can foresee happening are if there is glitch or problems with the iPads themselves. The other stipulation might be that iPads and the actual cost of an iPad. iPads are not cheap devices, and unfortunately, most districts, as of right now, can't afford multiple iPads. But there's grant money, everything else. If schools are going to do it, they're going to need to try to get money and get iPads into the classroom, because I see that's the way education is going. Lesson 2, the first part of Lesson 2, basically I'm going to have them draw upon the knowledge from the first lesson. They are now going to create those accounts, but also then go back to those accounts and create their own individual projects using those internet resources. I have a couple examples in which I'll show you right here. Right now, the Wikispaces. So here's just a student rendition of a Wikispace that I created. Now, for example, they would just have a simple title. Obviously, later they can go and add numerous different aspects to this. This is just a basic one just to give you an idea of what it might look like. Within this, I will have numerous different links eventually, but starting out, the students will just have a Glogster, their LiveBinder, and their WebQuest. So all of the information will be accessible from this one website, so they won't have to be searching around a lot. Everything will be located right here. Also within this, they can apply pictures, numerous other documents, anything else more or less that they need to place their projects in here. These are just a couple of examples of my students' projects from last year, so I put them in there. The second one would be a LiveBinder. A LiveBinder is a great way to digitally put your documents, also pictures, anything else as well, online. It's a great way to use everything accessibly. It's almost very similar like a wiki, but there are different applications as well. For this particular LiveBinder, you can see that I've created my project, and underneath that here is just a simple procedure sheet for the students. Again, it's just a simple document. You might have all their materials list, everything else in regards to their project, so they can have everything listed right here digitally, right at the touch of a fingertip. And the last one would be WebQuest. Again, like I mentioned before, I do have numerous WebQuests that I've designed for different aspects of my class, and this is going to be extremely helpful for me and students. Why? Because they can go and view these at any time. They can go through all of these, and embedded in all of these different WebQuests that I've created are most of my tests. If not, there's examples, study guides, everything that they'll need. So when it comes toward the end of the trimester, all of their exam stuff will come right from all this information. They don't have to lose papers, keep a folder of any of it. Everything will be right here again at the touch of a fingertip to study up and work on their actual project. Yep, that was not working. So at this point, I've shown you 3 examples of the internet resources, and hopefully you can get an idea of where this assignment is going to take the students. You might say right now, how does this apply to my class? Well, all of these resources can apply to my classroom. Most technology is a little difficult to apply, but I think these 3 I can definitely apply to my classroom with the aid of using an iPad. That would be crucial for the mobility and being able to move around with the information. And again, it's just going to be great because we have written instructions, diagrams, pictures, detailed drawings, you name it. We have all of this information for just one project, and this is going to be a great way to organize it all and keep it in one accessible spot. Their final assignment for this project will be to develop their personal wiki. Now they have all these resources, all of their project information, all of their information in general for the entire class. They can have it all in their personal wiki, and The best part is they can make alterations, changes, whatever they need to at any time to this. Toward the end of the trimester as well, part of their final will be to give a 5-minute presentation to the class using their wiki as a navigational tool to describe their project, their steps, their processes, everything, all of their information to one another. Overall, lesson 1, again, we just used iPads, introduced them to the internet resources. Lesson 2, using the multiple internet resources, and then placing everything in a digital platform in the form of a wiki, and which makes it accessible to students at any time. Now, the other great aspect is they can either build upon it in other classes that they might take of mine. If not, they can use that personal wiki to erase everything they have in there from my class and incorporate their own or create their own personal digital platform, digital space to keep all of their information. Students will be learning and doing so very effective without even really knowing. Teacher input is still the most important factor. The same goes for any traditional or technology-based classroom. The teacher is the most integral part of learning. It's not the technology. So the overall unit, lesson 1, using iPads, introduction to internet resources. Lesson 2, using multiple internet resources, and also applying that to their digital wiki, which is creating a digital platform. They can easily access that at any time. All of the innovative tools and strategies above can be transferred or even applied to other classrooms. The only stipulation might be that teachers might choose to use different internet tools to apply to their certain core areas. This lesson can also be applied to many different age levels, possibly ranging from 6th grade to 12th grade. Overall, I think this is a fairly good lesson, and I'm truly excited to try it out as soon as the opportunity presents itself where I can get iPads within my classroom to let my students use them. Good luck to all of you and your technology advancements in your classrooms.